Look what's just arrived from ClickFunnels. Let's go and take a look inside. So after a long wait, it is finally here. So let's dive straight in, take a look inside, and then after I'm gonna share with you my 3 biggest lessons that I learned on the way to achieving this 7-figure award, which are gonna massively help you in your business and in your journey. So stay tuned for that. So I got my scissors. Let's take a look. Wow, look at this. There it is, baby. There it is. The 2 Comma Club Awards. So big thank you to Russell, to all the team at ClickFunnels. It's been an incredible journey, super excited. This is really a dream come true. I actually had a screensaver of this on my phone for about a year. So to see it in the flesh and in reality is amazing. Thank you so much, and let's go and get the next one. So now let me share with you the 3 lessons that I learned on the way to achieving this award and how they can help you as well. So just before I jump into the 3 lessons, I want to tell you a story. Back in 1935, all the top nations got together and they needed to restore faith in the people and the currency. And the US dollar was the world reserve currency then. And what they did was they backed the US dollar by gold. And the price of 1 ounce of gold was 35 US dollars, which meant that if you went to the bank and you wanted to get 1 ounce of gold, you give them $35 and they give you an ounce of gold. Now this meant that the banks had to hold a certain amount of gold at all times, and you could exchange that at any time. Now this agreement lasted all the way up to 1971. And in 1971, President Nixon took the gold, the dollar off the gold standard, which what that basically meant was that now they could print more money. Because you couldn't print more money when it was backed by gold because you can't print gold. But since 1971, when an ounce of gold was priced at $35, but it was taken off that gold standard, around about today's day, the price of gold is just under $2,000, there or thereabouts, which means that modern money has devalued in the region of 60 times. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that really in life, we only ever have 2 things that are gonna help us achieve any goal. Number 1 is knowledge. You see, knowledge is the only thing that separates you from where you are now to where you want to go. And you need to acquire the knowledge and the skills and the expertise in order to get there. So you got to learn. That's why coaching programs, that's why, online courses and all those other things are so popular. The e-learning space is growing to like 325 billion over the next few years because knowledge is always something that is going to be valued. So knowledge is the real asset, and time really is the only currency, because the money that you work for, it's just pieces of paper that they print. So really imagine how different your decisions would be if time was the currency. So you had to pay with your time. So if you wanted to go and get a cup of coffee, you don't pay £3 or $5, but you have to spend half an hour of your time performing a task in order to get that coffee. Just think about that for a second. How different would your decision process be if you actually had to pay everything with time? Because ultimately, time is the currency and knowledge is the only asset that we have. So now let's get to the lessons. And lesson number 1 is focus. Focus. What does that mean? You see, when I first started in this online space and running my own business and all of that stuff, I used to think that there was some secret sauce. I was always looking for the next secret sauce, the secret recipe, the ingredient that was gonna, make me all this money and take me to new levels. But the truth is, I didn't find the secret sauce. And you might be watching this thinking, well, yeah, I'm looking for that secret sauce too. But I'm sorry to break it to you that there is no secret sauce. Do you know what the secret sauce is? It's called focus and attention. You see, many people think that they know the stuff that they're learning after watching one video, after reading one book. But the truth is, you have to go over and over that information and really master it. I watch videos 5 times on average. I read books maybe 2 times on average because I really want to make sure that I've mastered what's being taught. And the only way you can do that is focus. The reason it feels so hard in this day and age to make money or to achieve your goals is because we live in a world full of distractions. And I actually compare this to, if you take a 10-year-old kid and you tell the kid, go and walk through a candy store filled with candy without taking candy off the shelf, it's going to be very, very hard. And it's the same in life today. It's never been easier to build a business, to make money, and have all this success, but it doesn't feel like it because we're too busy reaching for different candy off different shelves. And that's why people can't focus. Attention span is at its lowest it's ever been. So if you can learn to focus, you will get much further than many, many other people. It automatically puts you on the front foot if you can just learn to focus on one thing rather than spreading yourself too thin and trying to get all this candy everywhere. Lesson number 2 is do the boring work. Yes, do the boring work. Again, everybody, when they start out, and I was the same, I was at level 1 of this business game. And I was looking at the people that are at level 10, and I was trying to do what they're doing, which was really completely crazy when you think about it. Imagine you go to the gym and you have hopes of getting the beach body. And you look at all the other guys and girls in the gym who are all ripped and all really athletic, and you start to copy them. What's gonna happen? You're probably gonna injure yourself. And I actually tried this in the gym. I was looking at all these other guys that were ripped and I was like, oh, they're lifting that and they're doing this. So I started it. And before you know it, I really injured myself. And the truth is don't compare your level to someone else's level because they're on completely different levels. People who are at level 10 were doing completely different things when they're at level 1 or 2. Everybody thinks that the best people in business and entrepreneurship are all doing something amazing, but it's not. They're just doing the boring work really, really well. The best people keep it simple, and simple sometimes means boring. And that's another thing that is huge on one of my lessons to this journey is you got to do the boring work because nobody wants to do the boring work. I'll give you another example. Everybody wants to play in the Champions League final. Everybody. But nobody wants to play on a cold, wet and windy Tuesday night in the middle of in Eastern Europe. Nobody wants to do that, but that's what it takes to get to the Champions League final. Everybody wants to be like Michael Jordan. Everybody wants to be like Ronaldo, but not many people are willing to go through that same journey and do the boring work that they do and have the regime and have the lifestyle that they have in order to achieve the result. They want the thing without being the person. And the two just don't correlate. So lesson number 2 is do the boring work and keep things simple. Simplicity is key. And lesson number 3 is curiosity. That's right, you gotta be curious. You gotta find out how things work. If you see someone successful, if you see someone driving a car that you want, living in a house that you want, wearing things that you want, going on holiday to locations that you wanna go, you need to be curious. How did that person achieve it? So let me ask you this. If you have kids, you'll understand what I mean. So my kids, when they want to find out how something works, what do? They ask 1,000 questions and everything is why, and how does this work and what's that and what's this? Because they're curious. So the key is to be curious like a child because that's the only way you're gonna find out. And when you find that person, pay them whatever they charge in order to help you achieve the same result. And let me tell you why. Because ultimately, going back to what I made previously, time is the only currency. It's not money, it's time. You always pay with your time. So imagine if you could shortcut the process by 6 months, a year. What would be the value that you would place on your time? 6 months, a year. I'm sure it's a significant amount. So lesson number 3 is curiosity, which allowed me to build a 7-figure business, win the $1 Million Award from ClickFunnels. And for those of you that think you know it all, well, you probably don't. That's the real answer. Ego is such a huge thing in business and entrepreneurship. I know this because I had a huge ego, and every day I'm kind of working with my ego to remain humble. Look, if you think you know it all, just take a look at the results and the fruits of your labor. If you don't drive what you want to drive, if you don't live where you want to live, if you don't go on holiday where you want to go on holiday, if your life doesn't look like what you want it to look like, that's probably a sign that you don't know it all and you still got a long way to go. So in life, I believe we're only ever moving in two directions. We are either moving forwards or we are moving backwards. There is no such thing as maintenance. There is no such thing as stagnating. We're always moving backwards if we're not moving forwards. Think about that for a second. So every day in my life, I'm trying to be 1% better each day in every aspect, physically, spiritually, emotionally, business-wise, every aspect that I can. And that means not having that ego, that chip on your shoulder, remaining humble and remaining a good student of life. And let me just say this, the only thing that is stopping you from achieving all your goals, all your dreams, and everything you've ever desired is the person staring at you in the mirror first thing in the morning. That's it. It's you against you. So learn to work on yourself more than you work on the stuff and the doing. I heard a great saying, if you want an above average income, then you need to become an above average person. And that really is the key to all of this. Learn to work on yourself more than you do on your job. That's it. You see, you can have more than you want because you can become more than you are. But the flip side to that is, unless you change how you are, you're always gonna have what you currently have. So there you have it. Those are my 3 lessons to building a 7-figure business, winning the $1 Million award from ClickFunnels. So there you have it. I hope you found this super useful. Let me know in the comments section what you thought, what did you learn, what was your biggest takeaways. I go through all the comments and I reply to each and every one of you. Hit the like and subscribe notification buttons as well to stay tuned for more amazing videos where I'm gonna be dropping some absolute gems on you guys and girls. Thank you so much for watching and I look forward to seeing you again in the next one.